Alright guys, this is Fuego Tigre, showing a little bit of Space Engineers here. We've got, so I guess I'm going to kind of show our base. This is for a couple of viewers that were kind of interested in what we had been doing, and while we're doing that, maybe talk a little bit about the basics of the game. So what we've done is we've kind of jumped onto a public server. You can jump into the game. You can start your own sort of seed and play on your computer, solo play, but there's a lot of stuff that comes with that, and I'll probably talk about that while we're flying. Well, I mean, right there, that's our home, all right? We've tried a couple things. There's planets. You can fly to those planets. You can land on those planets. Those planets have atmosphere. All of these planets do, and some of them have moons. The sort of sun rotates around. Building on planets is kind of problematic, as that there's gravity, and gravity is a bother. So we have decided to build on space after trying planets for about a week. So I'm going to start a little momentum here, turn my inertial dampeners off, and that's it. And I'm flying towards our donut, the donut asteroid, formerly called magnesium, nickel, iron. Now the donut. I'm actually kind of off course a little bit. I'm going to turn my HUD back on, put my inertial dampeners on, and kind of zoom in here. You do have to kind of be aware of momentum. If you don't slow down in time, you will crash into things you do not want to crash. So, right here is the superstructure to our capital ship. Kami has done, I would have to say, pretty much all the work on it. This is going to be basically our roving base. This is not where we started, though. We've got some large storage containers going on here. Some nuclear reactors, but we're going to go back over here. This is more where we've started. Attaching ourselves to this donut asteroid. And I started this base, sort of give us a home. It had very humble beginnings, just these three, actually there were 6 storage containers, some docking ports, and some refineries, which then Kami took liberty to expand into a major industrial hub. Each one of these guys, and let me go ahead and I'm going to hit inventory, I for inventory. I'm going to put a couple of these tools in. Actually, you're going to hit G. It takes a second here for things to pop up. Go to my weapons and tools. I have the elite tools set. I'm going to go ahead and put the standard starting tools in here. Alright. So each one of these refineries have upgrade ports. And we've gone ahead and put some productivity modules, some effectiveness modules to sort of speed up production and to increase what we churn out. Kami has sort of created a, I want to say complex, it's not complex, but it is also complex, sort of system for sorting, kind of like circuitry. Kami, do you, do you want to explain any of this?
As far as the sorting, well, there's 3 containers. Each one of them holds a specific item. There are filters set.
Yeah, so the ship's dock, like this one is done right here. The ship's dock, this is my ship, which I've converted to a mining ship, and I'll talk about that. The ship's dock, and then stuff flows through these tubes, like so. And then they get to this junction point. And then, because everything kind of flows wherever it goes, Kami set up these, what are these called again? Conveyor sorters. And so you have to flip it on and off. So there is an outgoing mode and there is an incoming mode. So if it's incoming, like this arrow states, it comes down these pipes, goes into these sorters, and then if it comes here, I'm going to go ahead and hit K. He's got these blocks designated with filters. So if it's ingots, components, or hand tools, it'll it'll be allowed through here. Otherwise, everything keeps cycling and cycling and cycling and cycling. So this is like a filter that says, I'm grabbing these. I'm grabbing these particular items. And then, so all 3 of those items will come in, and they'll deposit in this box. Then, in this box, he's reduced it. Components, hand tools, ammo. Components, hand tool, ammo. And then this one should be hand tools and ammo. So just hand tools and ammo will come. That doesn't sound right. This is just tools. Oh, and I guess and ammo. So it is right. So just hand tools and ammos will dump in here, and then it's got nowhere else to go. And then you're only allowed to go this way. So that's how he's been able to categorize containers that are just certain items. And they get stuck. And then these filters keep them from going. And then, as you can see, when these arrows are on, that means that you can pull from the ship. So when the ship, so right now it's set so that everything goes out to the ship. Nothing can come in, only things can come out. Then you flip a switch, all the outgoing turns off, only incoming. And that's how we dump our ships full of ore. And then it goes through these sorters. So, and then part of these sorters, if it's ore, it'll come here. It'll get thrown into these refineries. These refineries will turn it into ore. As the system keeps cycling, that ore will then get tossed over here into these boxes. And then, and then these, you can't really see them because there's modules. These are what actually makes our products. Then these ores that get sort of stuck here then can get sucked down these tubes and then go to these assemblers, which then really make our items. And then, Kami, those fixed items, do they sit in the assembler or do they go to another container?
The component, whatever the actual item is, the sorter will pull them.
Okay, so then the sorter pulls them and dumps them in one of these other buckets. And that's how that works. Simple, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it took like, afternoon to figure out.
Yeah. But, it's funny because it's complex. It's also simple, but it's complex, and it took a while. And then all of these tubes take quite a bit of components to make. So let's see. I mean, not quite a bit, but when you start adding them all up, 40 construction components, 10 steel plates, 12 steel tubes. If you're not familiar with the game, you don't even really understand what that means. But it's stuff you have to make. So if you don't have it, it can be kind of
we
troublesome.
understand.
Oh yeah, I'm doing a little video to show Pally kind of some of the stuff we've been in. Oh, and you can watch it too. So that explains. Oh yeah, thanks, sweetheart. Okay. So nothing works without power, and so one of the first things we built was a nuclear reactor. Actually, batteries, and that's what you're going to want to do. So we built some batteries. They used to be one over here. It's not here anymore. Oh, there it is. There's one of the original batteries. Kind of jammed over there in the corner. The 4 dots mean that it's full of juice. And then I've got these solar panel plates, or these solar panels. They only work when the sun's on them. Right now you can tell that they're not working because the sun is behind the asteroid. It'll be cycling around here, and I don't know. Do we ever figure out what the cycle of the sun is?
It's a 2-hour cycle.
2-hour cycle. All right. So when it's actually receiving sunlight, these little dots will light up depending on the strength, and then they'll generate energy depending also on the strength. That'll help power the batteries, which I've also kind of got a bank of them back here. I've got 4. They're fully charged. Most likely because of the nuclear reactor here that we've got, the large nuclear reactor full of uranium that is actually doing the heavy pulling. But these guys are here. They're useful for an emergency in case all hell breaks out. Oh, look, a solar eclipse. All right, so on to my ship. This guy has had many iterations. And I think it looks pretty good, but it is definitely a bit bastardized. It started off as a starter ship. It had some cargo containers in it, and then it just kind of got upgraded as I kind of slapped components to it. So now I've got 5 large cargo containers. It's got a spine of cargo containers. It's got these batteries here. There's a series of 4 batteries lined along its back, powered by this large, but it's for a small ship, nuclear reactor. So basically how it works is, and when you're first starting this game, and it's a lot of servers when you jump on, they'll give you a starter ship. That starter ship will disappear. So you need to, before you log off, you need to tear that ship apart, get all your components, and build yourself a new ship. If you can, build yourself a medical bay, because that'll be your spawn point. Because I'll tell you something, space is big. It is really big. Like, to get to this planet right over here, it'll probably take, depending on how fast the server speed is, it took us 45 minutes with a 60 meter per second limit. They upped it to 200, but it's like never 200. Usually you get up to 150 or maybe 100. And that'll still take you 25 minutes to fly to that freaking planet. Space is huge. So, yeah. So you want to build your ship, you want to put a medical bay, because you probably won't find your stuff again. And in fact, when you're building your ship, be careful, because it probably won't weigh much. And if you tap it while you're building it, it might start cartwheeling through space. And then if you take your eyes off of it and it's traveling at 5 meters a second and you turn around and it's not there anymore, well, good luck searching all of space to find your ship. That happened with me after I'd started building a ship just like this. 2 hours in, bumped it, thought, oh, that's alright, I'll just turn around. I went to go collect some scrap, came back, it was gone. Gone. In space. Gone. Kami jumped in his spaceship, traveled one direction. I flew all over. It was just gone. It was gone. 2 hours of work gone. Lost in space. So, yeah. So you want to keep track. If you want to be safe, you find yourself a little asteroid. You build some of these blocks. Right here in the bottom you see number 1 is station. Those are station blocks. You can dig them into the side of the asteroid here. You'd need some material. You would have some. You set down some station blocks. They'll look like this. Okay? And then you'd be building a small ship, but this large ship is an example. Then you just throw a little foot down on there. Right? That's your clamp. That's a magnetic foot. And then after you throw the foot on there, you toss some blocks, and you're good. You're anchored to an asteroid. That asteroid's not going nowhere. Your foot shouldn't be going anywhere, and you can start building your ship, and you don't have to worry about bumping it and it flying off into space. Good stuff. Yeah, okay. So, what you want to do when you're building your ship, though, oh, turn my jetpack on, is you're going to have a cockpit. That's pretty important. You're probably going to start off with a foot. You'll build some blocks, kind of like what I did here. Let me turn on my lights. Alright, you got your little foot. You'll build some blocks on it. I obviously have built a ridge down the middle just as a support. And then I started tacking things onto there. Storage containers, toss 1 or 2. You'll want that, you know, to put your stuff in. You're going to need an oxygen tank to store your oxygen. And you're going to need an oxygen generator. Yeah, because you want to breathe. That's one of the things that we do as human beings. We breathe, so you're going to need an oxygen generator. You'll attach it to your oxygen tank. Oxygen will go in there. Your oxygen generator itself, and I'm going to jump in my cockpit real quick. Okay. If I can. Okay. I'm going to hit K.
Back later.
Alright, brother. Now I'm attached to the station right now. But we're going to find the oxygen generator. Alright. And actually I'm going to go to inventory. Fighter cockpit. So right here I got a chunk of ice. Alright, now you should start off with a chunk of ice, but that's what you need for oxygen and hydrogen. Being that water is H2O, right? So that separates those two. Gives you oxygen, gives you hydrogen. Hydrogen used for fuel in your jetpack. I'm going to get out of this cockpit. But honestly, before any of that works, you're going to need a battery. Alright? So if you have enough components, I mean, if you wanted to play really safe, throw down a foot, throw down a spine, throw down a battery. You want to try to be conscious of how it's going to be designed. You can throw a battery down here. Your batteries, you want to be careful because when you tear them apart, you lose your fuel cells. Being that they are composed of about 20 fuel cells. or 20 power cells, construction components, steel plates. You get everything back when you grind it down, except for power cells. You lose those, and you'll have to make those again. So you don't want to be tearing them apart a bunch if you don't have to. So you got your battery, you got your solar panels. You're good. You got the beginning of your power. Batteries come with a pre-charge. You need some thrusters, and you want to consider like the vectors, right? You need forward, backwards, up, down, left, right, in both directions. Because something else that happened on like version 7 of my ship is I forgot thrusters in a certain vector, and I jumped in to test my ship out, and I couldn't stop it because I didn't have opposing vector thrusters, and that's how I lost that ship. So couldn't stop it. Couldn't stop it. Couldn't work on it. It was gone. So cool. Batteries, solar panels. This guy's got a reactor. This tubing connects to the storage containers. So this tubing functions both as power, oxygen, and a conveyor tube. They're actually called conveyor tubes. All right. This will let systems transfer items to each other. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to how your items are connected. So I got a bunch of storage on this guy, some big old thrusters, some big old honking thrusters I put on there. And then this is my mining sort of rig. This is actually a mod. These compact drills are from a mod. And you want to be careful about using mods because any update of Space Engineers could invalidate your mods and then everything disappears. And then that also actually happened to us. And it was a terrible tragedy that was only averted by my own foresight. I'm going to go ahead and toot my own horn on that. I shouldn't call it foresight though, because I did not see that coming. But luckily, I'd built a base anyways. So I've got a bunch of compact drills here, and then in the center is a scoop, and that's just there because I wanted it. And also, it does help connect everything. It's got some connectors to it. This scoop actually connects to the front of my cockpit, which has a port. All these yellow squares are basically ports, access ports, and you kind of need to match them up. And if you do, they will help transfer power and items, but you've got to orient them just the right way, and they've got to be powered. And that's it. And this is kind of just a bastard thing. I mean, I've got some gyroscopes. You need those for rotation. If you want to see a more dedicated, well-thought mining ship, this is Kickens. And he put a lot of thought to this guy. And he's using vanilla items. So he's got a bunch of mining drills, and then these are called earth breakers, which are just mega drills. And then you can see that he put scoops all along at little strategic points to kind of suck up the free-floating ore. And then he's got some, these are spotlights actually, he's got on the interior of the drill so that he can kind of see what's going on. There's the cockpit. He's got a lot of tubing here. These are his collectors. He's got tubing that all runs into storage containers, which then run along. He's also got a sorter. This is actually his oxygen tank. That's interesting. He's got it there. And it runs into these cargo containers. And you can see that he's got a ton of thrusters. Now, these are smaller thrusters. One of the large thrusters that I've got actually does the job of 12 of these small ones. What is this? An ejector. So he's set up an ejector, and it probably has a filter to filter out rocks. So we don't need a lot of rocks. So as these tubes are collecting ore and minerals, once it gets to this point, it has a filter to eject rock so that he doesn't fill up his cargo hold with rocks, which he doesn't need. And then this is cool, this little panel. Did you set this panel up for him? This says RVN1 for contract.
No, he set it up.
He set that up. 40,000 kilograms of iron. Okay. So, yeah, that's hardcore and beautiful. That's his thing. Looks like he left his spotlights on, but I guess he's not worried about it. Okay. These are our constructor ships. Kami designed this. I made a slight additional modification so that they could link up. But this is Kami's.
I broke my off accidentally.
You broke yours off?
Yeah, the bottom.
Well, that's a shame, but that's all right. Are you using the construction ship right now?
No, I'm
Okay.
in the miner. I'm actually docked right now. So,
These are completely battery operated, so we got to be careful to make sure that they are plugged in at the end of the night so that they charge up, because they don't have solar panels or anything. So if they die, then we're gonna have to do a hard lock.
rotation.
Yeah, it's not fun docking with light things in space because they get bumped and then they float off, and then you have to chase them. But this guy's pretty cool. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and dock this guy. And V for external view. And
Oh, I noticed a cool thing when docking. Just go into tab. You don't see all the interface. Makes it easier.
okay, and then I'm going to stick the docking port. This guy's pretty light, so he's also pretty agile. And then Papa. Okay. So white on the docking collar means it's ready, it's on. When I get close, it should turn yellow. Just like that. Then I'm going to hit Papa again, and that's locked. Green means it's locked. So now, I can't move it. It's hooked up to the station. And this turns this ship into part of the entire system. So now this ship is docked with the, theoretically I'm rotated wrong. This ship is now docked with the station. It's drawing power. The station can use its items. It can use the station's items depending on how we have the system switched on. I guess the last thing to do is show how mining works.
Or combat.
Combat. Well, we haven't really, actually. I'm gonna go. This is the other one.
Drone.
This is. I think I can still show how this was intended. Oh God, momentum.
Kill yourself.
I'm not gonna wreck. We're way past that. He said before the terrible incident occurred. All right, this drone is a little. Oh God. I didn't get that close. All right. Oh shoot.
Does it have ammo?
I don't know. I'm gonna dock. I'm docking this this second. What do we call them? Corvus Rojo, Corvus Roja, and Corvus Negra. Yeah. So now, if I wanted to make this easier, I could put a camera on the front of my ship, and then I would be able to line it up a little easier. But come on, what's the fun in that? And docked. So it's a little crooked, but it's docked. So theoretically, if these both were the same, then there would be another tube down here, and another ship could theoretically dock. We'd have a cool little daisy chain. But now both of these, because since these guys are completely battery operated, now they're all charging through the system. This is the drone. I'm going to move the drone. This is sort of the combat drone that does have... Okay. So there is actually a camera. You can see it says right there, camera. You can turn that on, and this thing can be completely remotely operated, or you can jump in the cockpit like we have here. It obviously has some Gatling guns on it. But they're not set up to a group.
No, if they worked, a left click will be fire. But it doesn't have. Hold on, actually, stop moving. I'll stick some ammo in it.
Oh! I think I just minimized my game. Which will be fine. Won't make much of a difference because it's still playing. Victor, Alt.
Okay, 2 guns should be operational.
Okay. Let's see, what should I shoot at? So, you can look around. You can hit Alt, kind of look around your cockpit if you want to play first-person perspective only for a sense of realism. Be pretty dangerous, though. Be pretty easy to knock stuff. You'd have to put a lot more That little window glare. Alright. Nah. Left click, you said?
Yeah, it should be left click.
Nah.
If it doesn't work,
You know what it is?
the thing
Just set it
over.
as a group.
Yeah.
So we'll set this
Then I
as a
think
group.
left click.
Kilo, Gatling guns, 1 through 3. Set this as a group. We'll just call it Gat guns. Cool. Then I'm gonna hit golf. Go into groups and grab the Gatling gun. Toggle on off. Pistons. What are the pistons for?
What pistons?
It says pistons on here. get rid of
Oh,
them.
wait a second. Yeah, this ship had a... Was before this drone, it used to be a planetary lander, which had a piston suspension. There was a landing, which worked pretty well. And then stuff disappeared.
Ah, yes. Alright, well, there's probably a better way to do it, but I'm leaving combat right now up to Kami. Kami, do you have anything important on you?
No, wait.
I'm excited to shoot him. Oh! Am I hitting you?
Yeah, hit me. Oh, there you go. There we go.
Combat! Oh, you're dead.
Yeah. Come on, dude, you're a freaking troll ship, man. I think it's like Galilee guns that fire like 600 rounds a
4.
minute.
Oh, look at your body go. No, Kami, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to fight. I'll turn the inertial dampeners on. So that is the thing, like, you can turn inertial dampeners on and off. So you don't have to waste fuel. If you do turn it on and it's useful to have on, it'll sort of orient you and zero out your speed and momentum. Which is a good thing. A good thing, especially if you get disconnected. And then your ship continues to fly on forever until it hits an object. Yeah, it's sort of a pro tip. So, I've got them on, especially when we're in station. When we're in station, we usually have them on. But you see, for example, there's only one. This is terrible. This is scary. I'm scared. There's only one forward-facing thruster. So, in other words, this thing does not slow down. It does not have good brakes. I think a rule of thumb is equal amount of thrusters on all sides. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to do that, especially for your lateral movements here, like these guys. But not a terrible idea either. It'll keep you very maneuverable. So that's driving that guy. Does this guy have a port? How does this guy get battery juice?
He doesn't. He has a reactor.
Oh, he has a reactor. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, cool. Oh, how do you drive? How do you remote control him?
So the drone itself has a remote control module along with an antenna and a camera.
Are those
Another
hidden behind armor?
Yeah, it's all armored up.
Okay.
So
So
to
probably
actually
in there.
access it and fly around, you have to have another ship within antenna range. And that drone ship has to have its antenna set to broadcasting, so your other ship can actually pick up the signal. So let's demonstrate. Let's see.
Yeah. Can it be any ship? Do I need to have a remote controls? Could I
No,
do
no.
it from my ship?
Just on the top left, when you go to your terminal, you have a little drop down. It will actually show you that ship.
It's not called Static Grid 4937, is it?
No.
Accessible ships.
It's a FX-12 drone.
Maybe
Yeah, no.
it's not set for the clan to use.
It is.
All right. Well, let me turn on. Hit K. Let me turn on my.
Yeah, turn on your antenna.
Yeah, my antenna. Oops. Duh. This is my antenna. Do I have to turn broadcasting on myself? Or it's got to be on the drone?
Well, it has to be on the drone, which it is. And I think yours may need to be on as well.
That's fine. I've got it on now.
Yeah, enable it.
Okay.
Like 500 meters should be fine.
Yeah. Okay. So now it's enabled. Large grid 3511 is out of receiving range. So I've got direct access to grid.
Do you see the FX12?
I do not. I just see static grid 4937, direct access.
That's weird. I have access to it.
Well, if you have access to it. I mean, actually turn my antenna off so we don't broadcast our position here. Okay. I wonder if I can control it from... Is it from your ship?
Yeah.
Where is your ship?
Yeah, check if you can do it from my ship.
Ah, there's your ship. This is Kami's ship. Used to be more of a station-like object. It's also gone through many iterations.
Yeah.
His actually has defensive. Yeah, the mods broke it. So he's got... But you can see a ton of batteries, ton of storage. Not as many thrusters as you'd imagine.
That's a large thrusters that compensates.
And then it's...
I used to have a turret on the top. I kind of clipped it off in an asteroid.
A mining mishap.
Yeah.
Alright. So, FX12, yeah, there it is. Alright, so once I've got the drone here, how do I...
So there's a...
Oh, just click
control.
on camera?
No, that's to view, but there's a control, remote control. You click on that and then you click control.
FX drone 12. Remote control. And then
There's
control.
a control button there. So then you're in control of it, but then you have to switch to the camera view to actually view what you're doing.
Okay, and how do I do that?
Just hit K again and click on camera and view.
Cool. Cockpit camera. Whoa.
There you go.
So I can't go into I can't go to an outside view.
No, because you're just viewing the camera view.
Oh man, this is a lot rougher, huh?
Yeah, I told you. Look at the screen, like there's markings, like it's dirty.
Yeah, like it's dirty.
First I thought my monitor was dirty when I got into it. It's like, what the
Are
hell?
you carrying anything important?
Uh,
You're way harder to see.
No. Yeah, that's the only thing.
But you don't have to be there. You don't have to be in. Whoa. Try not to shoot the station. Do I have to lead?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
dead. Whoa. Alright. Well, let me take this back to dock. Oh, this thing needs to be lighter and or have more jets.
That's too much, too much actual resources being put into it.
Bah. Let's just make it lighter. It just needs guns.
I was thinking doing like three
God.
versions of the drone, like
Oh
a heavy
God.
drone which has heavy armor,
Oh god. Oh god.
a medium drone. Don't hit
Oh
the
God.
station.
This exactly what I'm saying. It needs more freaking thrusters. Alright, so I hit K again. I'm going to turn off the remote. Right.
You could, I think, F. You get out of the controlling that ship.
Okay. Oh shit. I just moved your shit, I think.
Relax. You're gonna hit the station.
Are you not docked?
No, I'm not docked. I was undocked because I deposited the materials I picked up.
Do you want to be docked or no?
No. I'm gonna
Okay.
take it out. I should leave the ships undocked.
No way, man.
Easily explode.
No. Mine's been docked for like days.
I know, it has been.
And it bothers
I
you?
had too many mishaps. Yeah, it bothers me.
But it's never had an incident. There's been ever since you stopped touching my ships, they stopped exploding. Do you see? Do you see that I don't I don't blow my ships up. My friends blow my ships up. So, so another pro tip is, you know, don't be afraid to. Let's see. We're gonna check. I guess there's no way to really go into mouse mode, is there? Anyway, down here in the bottom left, you can turn your jetpack on and off with X, right? And then inertial dampeners on and off with Zeta. What do they call it? Z? Is that what the rest of the world you say call it? Z? Z? Or Zulu here in the U.S. And you can see that the status changing down there. Also lights. All of this draws power, energy. You'll see that down there underneath speed. Your oxygen you breathe, you need that to live. Your hydrogen, you use that for jet fuel. This is probably way longer than 10 minutes, but yeah, it's definitely way longer. But don't be afraid to go explore sort of far off spaces. So another, I'm going to go turn my dampeners on. One, I guess, last thing I'll talk about here is your GPS, and this is something we kind of learned early on. You want to do, once you find where you're at, or if you want to mark a location, new from current position, all right? Boom. And that will put XYZ coordinates right where you're at. If you want to share that with somebody, you can do copy to clipboard, okay? And then you can paste that as a Facebook message to yourself in your TeamSpeak, in a text file, wherever you want. Now, if somebody copies that, what you pasted exactly, then they can do new from clipboard, and it will automatically create the GPS location for you. Here's another pro tip. If you do several of these, if you have several of these locations all, you know, entered, and then you could even have them kind of organized with spaces in between them, and they copy all of those, and then they do new from clipboard, it will set each one of those up as a independent, so it's as an independent location. So you don't have to put them in individually. So you could, you know, exchange 20 waypoints with each other very quickly. We've had to start getting a little creative with how we name asteroids. When we find a resource, we sort of name it. And then we share it. Some asteroids we found tend to have similar resources, and so we might have to come up with a numbering system, just like NASA. Some of us can't spell, like nickel and iron and plat, but that's how we go. We decided to start getting all Latin and official on here with AU, AG, and I, so that would be silver, gold, nickel, iron. Here we have iron, silicon, gold, uranium, silver. Actually, I said that in the wrong order. Gold and silver is always confusing. Hey, and that's great fun for the kids. Teaches the kids simple mechanical systems, teaches them about the elements, teaches them about
Inertia.
inertia and simple Newtonian physics. Do I have anything valuable on me? No. Good. So if I remember so with that said, we have, I'm going to hit K, I'm going to go to my GPS. I've turned a lot of these off because it gets real busy. I'm going to turn off, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. How do I delete it? Right there. Delete. The donut asteroid. Here's a ship location. I don't really need that anymore. That was, so we'll go to, let's just turn on, this one's not far. So I'm going to show on HUD, get out, and then it'll show my waypoint. So that's nine kilometers away. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my jetpack. I'm going to fly out there. I'm going to turn my initial dampeners on so I don't have to keep thrusting. Bottom left, you're going to see meters per second increasing. Now, since we'll go ahead, 120 is fine. And now we're just traveling. Now we're probably a little off course, but that's fine. Get my grinder out. Drill. And I'm just watching the waypoint. Now you don't see anything there, do you? You don't see any. Ah, there it is. Popped into existence about 6 clicks out. Almost 7, actually. So I'm going to have to course correct here in a second. So, and you'll notice that it's not much hydrogen. So you can scout in your jetpack. So since I'm obviously off course, my momentum is sending me this way. I'm going to turn my dampeners on. I'm going to point myself down. Now the thrusters will thrust until I'm just on one vector, and turn this off, get a little closer. Oh, there's another asteroid there. Ah, jeez. There we go. Now your ship's going to take a lot longer, but your ship has a lot more mass on it. So here we are. Scouted this out. I still got plenty of oxygen, plenty of energy. Now if I were to start using tools on this, those tools would drain my energy. And that's really important. You want to be careful. So here I can see there's some gold. And if I pull my drill out, the drill has sort of an automatic ore detector on it, but you have to get pretty close. There's platinum, gold. These are actually two pretty critical elements here. Iron. All of this is iron. All of this orange is iron. If I were to turn my light off, it'd be harder to see. Let's see. And then what is on this guy? So, yeah, and when you're zipping along, so, alright. What's my mass in this thing? I am 134 kilograms. So, and a ship could be like 200,000 kilograms. So that's a lot more weight to manage. So you can really zip around, not use a whole bunch of fuel. Oh, turn the initial dampeners on. That's it. The inside of an asteroid. Mostly iron. There's a lot of iron out there. A lot of iron. Alright, so I guess the last thing to do is to smash myself into an asteroid. Call it a day. Let's pick up speed. Free at last. I'm coming home. Alright. Well, hopefully that had all the information you guys were looking for. Hope you thought the base was cool. If you have any questions, let us know. Thanks for watching.